Hello, welcome back to this channel. So this will be a quick video on my current musings about the transits in the sky for Uranus and Gemini, which will shortly soon move into that aspect or transit, finishing up in Taurus right now in the later energetic degrees. And Venus will also be moving into Gemini as well. And so I really want to talk about how Uranus and Venus and Gemini are collaborating or kind of co-creating with Pluto and Aquarius, which is also beginning new cycles, huge shifts, as we all know is going on, especially huge new 30-year cycles. Pluto recently moved into Aquarius. That's a 20-year cycle. Neptune is a 14-year, and Saturn, I believe, is a 30-year from the next time it'll be in Aries, right? So huge cycles, huge beginnings as we begin July. So especially since Aquarius and Gemini are air signs, right? And so they're all about thoughts, communication, socializing, information, and it's a very quick, light energy, right? It's an air sign, right? So it's a deeply awakening, mentally liberating time, especially with Pluto and Aquarius that digs deep under the surface of our interactions with others, our social networks, our dreams. The 11th house, which is also associated with Aquarius, can be manifesting our desires into reality and the networks and liquid cash and connections that we need. It goes beyond any kind of borders or boundaries or loops that we might have been stuck in during Capricorn and transcends that with Pluto and Aquarius, right? And this allows us to take power back and bring power to the individual, not the monarchs, which Capricorn can more so rule. And then also more than that, we have Uranus and Gemini moving out of a fixed Earth sign of Taurus into a fluid, mutable Gemini air sign, all about the transition from one age to another. So it's interesting how these transits are working alongside Saturn and Neptune and Aries, creating this new envision and new beginning for our future and new cycles. Since Pluto is so deeply investigative as well, this combination has the power, and Pluto is all about power, to break the veil of mind exposing hidden beliefs, outdated patterns, and unconscious emotional blocks and replaces them with clarity, intellectual freedom, and even unexpected love or creative insight, and even unexpected connections with others, since these are air signs, and air signs are all about interacting with other people. Gemini is local community, Aquarius is the broader sense, beyond border kind of community, and Libra is our partnerships and relationships, business contracts, and contacts, anybody around us really for Libra. So we have Pluto, which represents transformation, depth, shadow, and power, and Aquarius, which rules innovation, the mind, liberation, and higher intelligence. So when Pluto moves through Aquarius, it intensifies mental perception that drives collective shifts, collective, aka beyond borders, in how we think, communicate, and use technology. For individuals, it pierces the illusions of the mental world, exposing inner programming, unconscious biases, which Gemini rules the mind. It's ruled by Mercury, as well as communication. Gemini is also, for me, representative or compared to the Magician card in the tarot. So there's something about being able to manifest our reality from our mind and those shifts in our own thinking, in our health, and those collective reverberations of frequencies around us, right? A lot of times, communication, we rely on Wi-Fi, we rely on radio networks. These are ideas and thoughts and the power of collective consciousness connected, right? How we create our reality is all based in connections. So we're basically breaking out of rigid thought structures. Think of it as a psychic deep clean. So Uranus in Gemini is making a trine to Pluto and Aquarius, which is very powerfully potent and allows us to break down things and come to new innovative solutions that we might not have seen before. It's a mental revolution. Uranus rules awakening, disruption, and breakthroughs. Gemini, the mind, communication, information, and duality. So being able to see multiple sides of an issue or collaborate with other people around us. This trine creates a harmonious but intense charge. Uranus in Gemini electrifies the mind, sending new downloads of insight, curiosity, and multidimensional thinking. That's because Uranus rules electricity. It's Prometheus handing down fire from the gods. It's like electricity is like fire. It hurts if you get zapped by it sometimes. So there's a lot of kind of ingenious mental processing, especially with Mercury, which rules Gemini. This is fast. This is quick. One of the quickest planets, if not the quickest planet, is Mercury, right? So there's something about being able to process and analyze a lot faster than maybe we normally do, and make these huge leaps and transformative changes for long-term cycles a lot more profoundly this time. Also, Aquarius is associated with aliens or angels or those who serve the gods or are messengers of the gods. So there can be something about breaking through to different dimensions of understanding as well. And Capricorn is closely associated with physics, and since Aquarius transcends that, this is the mind-bending realities of time, space continuum, everything to do with that. Huge, large, Aquarius can also rule mathematics, but from a larger perspective, like astrology, for example. Aquarius is such a master of time that it supersedes Capricorn in being able to go back to the future. Hence that movie and the Mars conjunct Uranus, I believe, that Michael J. Fox has in his chart, which kind of aligns with the movie and the projects that he's a part of and manifested into reality. So with Pluto's powerful insight, which is Pluto cannot be underestimated, right? Scorpio season is very powerful. It's all about the wealth. Pluto rules wealth as well, and kind of stripping things that don't serve us anymore, doing that deep shadow work, right? You can just search up Pluto, Scorpio-based nakshatras to learn more about how Pluto is all about, Dhumavati or kind of Alakshmi or kind of refining and killing off anything that's not good and harvesting. So we can also have sudden realizations about your identity, purpose, and patterns, unexpected clarity about past traumas, which Pluto can rule trauma, traumatic experiences coming into our power, right? That kind of flip from going through something traumatic to becoming extremely strategic because of it, and extremely intuitive as well. And misunderstanding. So we're beginning to understand things a lot more clearly. We have even though we're going to have Saturn and Neptune going retrograde, that only allows us to revise things in July. So there could be like a mental snap, program or narrative uninstalls itself spontaneously. So we're bringing out of probably cycles that started beyond our lifetime in previous lifetimes as well. And this is a powerful time for that. So a lot of people are kind of waking up and coming online and connecting with the broader consciousness and intuitive insights and innovative insights, eureka moments. Together, Pluto and Uranus breaks down mental chains and gives you visionary insight. This could also be a powerful time to work with, especially since we have Jupiter also in Cancer. This is a powerful time to kind of form the structures or from the womb of Cancer and our faith and our deities and kind of work with divinity at a larger scale and connect with those larger, broader intuitive guidance. It's like switching from an old TV with a to a high definition 4D broadcast of reality. So Venus in Gemini, which will closely and soon be moving into Gemini, I think this weekend or maybe later, but brings a lightness, flirtation, and mental chemistry and curiosity to matters of love, beauty, and value. So this is a big focus on our self-value and our relationships at this time. So Venus is conjoining Uranus in Gemini, which will be trining Pluto in Aquarius. This could be a deep rethinking or innovative kind of eureka moments about love and self-worth or money as well. Maybe this is like a time of lucky breaks and attracting what we desire and require from a very powerful wealth-based standpoint with Pluto there and a deep intuitive kind of insight. And this could be unexpected through meeting people locally as well, Uranus and Gemini. Venus will definitely help add a softness and a joy to what otherwise could be a really raw Pluto/Uranus mental overhaul, but at the same time they're making trines, so it'd probably be very invigorating and empowering as well. Breaking the veil of the mind is another sentence that could cue in with this energy. Pluto can expose hidden truths that we weren't ready to face before. Uranus in Gemini injects multidimensional awareness, dualistic thinking, which Gemini is known as the twins, right? Gemini nakshatras are also associated with reflecting upon reality around us. It's the first time we really become conscious after Taurus, which is all about just kind of indulging in pleasures and enjoyment, which is fine. But Gemini is the time when we're beginning to kind of gather information and collect information from our local surroundings and people around us, where we didn't really care in Taurus before in the zodiac cycle. The trine that's happening in the sky can also allow us to have an ease in moving through the changes, shocking but also freeing or freedoms. There could also be unexpected synchronicities or epiphanies or sudden conversations that open up hidden corridors of your mind. So pay attention to your ideas at this time and write them down and enact on them. You might speak, channel, or write things that could even surprise you. If you have Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, or maybe Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, mutable placements, especially personal planets like your moon, rising, or sun sign, or maybe your Mercury sign, or whatever elements of your chart, this transit will unlock latent psychic abilities and intuitive gifts. It'll dissolve illusions or assumptions around love or identity, and it leads to a personal rebrand, a new look, new thought, new self-image, and a new reality as a result. It'll bring fated meetings, missions, and messages through social media, writing, and dreams. Basically, our genius is awakening and coming online for everybody at this time. Your mind could feel clearer than it's ever been. You could be perceiving the world through more layers as well, with more nuance. You could be more curious, experimental, or more open than before. And you could feel like you're leaving things behind that don't serve you anymore, anxieties or self-sabotage. As you begin to acquire new information and eureka moments, you understand more and you see things differently. Neptune, as we know, has recently moved into Aries, and it will be going retrograde back into Pisces, and then it'll go full-fledged into Aries in 2026 for the next 14 years. And this is an important time. Neptune rules our spirituality or divinity, and Aries rules our courage or beginning things, initiating things, visionary action. And so these are kind of collaborating together to kind of give us the divine push to begin things that are destined or connected with divinity even more so, the great ocean which Neptune can rule. In everyone's chart, Neptune is basically lighting up the house of self-identity, which Aries rules, the rising sign, right? Our physical, our head, urging us to break the veil of old illusions and embody a new level of inner truth. In old astrology or ancient astrology, your ascendant was the only thing that really represented you in your birth chart, actually. It wasn't anything else. Your sun sign, maybe your destiny, maybe your overarching life destiny, but who you actually were physically in your body was your ascendant sign. And the ascendant is ruled by Aries. So regardless, everybody's kind of reflecting on what do we want to create and what is the container and what is this new beginning all about for us. We also have Saturn in Aries. That's also moved into Aries, so that's a new 28-year life cycle. For those born between 1996 and 1998, this will also be their Saturn return. So this is the moment where they're actually maturing into full-fledged adults. It's their first Saturn return. This could be a powerful time when they're structuring new ways forward as well and innovating new beginnings. And Pluto in Aquarius is working very well with Saturn and Aries. I believe it's a sextile aspect. And so this is opening the mind's veil under Pluto's influence and Saturn's determination. We're going deep and we're structuring real long-term growth and change. This cycle will pulse with creative materialization and visionary restructuring, balancing ideals, Neptune with grit, Saturn. We could be being asked to get really grounded and mature about our new beginnings and to release illusions and build spiritually grounded structures. The Uranus-Pluto trine begins laying roots now that amplify radical innovation, rebellion, I already said that, and mind expansion, intensifying, breaking the veil. You can expect flash insights, unexpected ideas, and love through intellectual connections, and being a part of a much bigger and broader cultural and technological transformation and revolution. People's minds are being programmed deeply from within, and they're being asked to embody the structure that's awakening within. So not only are we seeing beyond the veil, but we're also building a new architecture as a result of it. When Uranus was discovered in 1781 by William Herschel, the world was in the midst of major scientific industrial change, especially in the field of energy. While the discovery of Uranus itself didn't cause energy innovations, it occurred at a time when major energy-related innovations were emerging, particularly during the Industrial Revolution. During 1941 to 1949, when Uranus was in Gemini specifically, communication technologies exploded, radar, encryption, and early computers, which is all about data and anything to do with the air sign is connected with computers and technology, especially Aquarius, which rules the internet, right? Large connections of these computers, which is ruled more so maybe by Gemini, the dualistic nature of binary as a language. The atomic bomb, the intellect and destruction was developed and used as well during Uranus and Gemini. United Nations was also formed, an international dialogue, and the Cold War began. Ideological conflict, which can showcase Gemini's duality. So unexpected kind of flips, or one side versus the other. There was also a rise of television as a mass communication technology. Gemini and Aquarius are both air signs, so Pluto and Aquarius, ruled by the Uranus and Gemini, will further facilitate the ease of communication ideas in a powerful, transformative way. Pluto in general causes death, rebirth, transformation, and transforms systems, technologies, and communities. There could be a lot of new things happening right now that's asking us to kind of break the norms and try something new. Pluto in Aquarius could be really alerting humanity to the fact to let go of the egoic power, which is more so like celebrities and Leo energy, right? The opposite axis or polarity of Aquarius, and transform into something more unified and evolved. So a lot of people are becoming liberated, and they're liberating themselves mentally, emotionally, and socially. They're destroying false narratives and limiting beliefs, and they're merging intellect with intuition for higher consciousness. There's also a rise in Enlightenment thinking. In the past, there was also the invention of the telegraph or newspapers. We also had Thomas Paine's radical writings of the French Revolution, and Declaration of Independence was also during this time. We also have a shift from the monarchy to democracy. Also, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune in Aries, so that's creative innovation meeting visionary dreams. Uranus's fast thinking sparks fresh ideas that align with Neptune's imagination. This aspect turns dreams or spiritual insights into tangible new concepts, especially in communication or tech. I actually heard a very recent, not really recent, I've heard this before, but they were saying how in the past people used to think maybe that like Saturn was the real world, and they thought Neptune was all imagination or illusion. And in a ways, it can be, but now we kind of understand that it's Saturn that's the illusion, right? Saturn and Capricorn and monarchs always attempting to spew ignorance to keep us uninformed, unintelligent, and keep us in this illusion, right? When Neptune is the true kind of reality, the connection with God and divinity and everything, the collective consciousness. We also have Uranus, which will be making a sextile to Saturn. So Uranus is making beneficial, easy aspects. Sextiles are kind of just aspects where you have to enact a little bit of energy to get the energy flowing. But this is a great time when innovation of Uranus could meet discipline and structure with Saturn. Uranus's urge for sudden change and breakthroughs is grounded and stabilized in Saturn's focus and perseverance. This combo can help us to take a quick, bright idea and build a solid foundation around them. Enables practical implementation of innovative ideas rather than just fleeting flashes. Neptune and Saturn together in Aries causes dreams to be fueled by willpower and ambition and tangible. It's about pushing us to act, but with responsibilities. Pluto will also be making a sextile to Saturn and Neptune as well. So we have a lot of nice energy that's helping us to dig deep and reform with Pluto's intensity and power to uproot and transform alongside Neptune's imagination or visionary insights and Saturn's ability to build lasting foundations long term. So this is a great time to stay open to new ideas, but to ground them right away as well. To use our courage to break free from limitations and pursue our unique path, innovation, right? Balancing fast mental energy with disciplined effort, avoid impulsiveness by setting goals, tangible goals, and structuring them into reality. Collaborating with like-minded people, your power multiplies in networks and communities, and keeping your vision clear, letting your ideals inspire, but staying practical on how to get there. Another moment of history was breaking the Enigma code, World War II. The intense intelligence work cracking Nazis' encrypted messages relied on rapid communication codes and early computing machines like the bomb. It revolutionized military intelligence and communications. So this is a powerful time when our ability to gather, process, and innovate through rapid learning and communication is electrifying our intellectual realm and produces hyper-alert minds at this time. There's innovative social informational interactions in our social networks, and this could even be around people in our community as well. This is a learning that is beginning to liberate us. And also this is a time when we've seen in history when scientific synthesis of big leaps in physics, math, and linguistics come due to a cross-pollination of ideas, kind of like a Silk Road energy. So there's a lot of connections going on. I just wanted to reflect on this exciting energy and transits that we're kind of living in at this present moment and preparing to enter more fully into in later July, and how we can actually kind of benefit. If you have Libra placements, you might find, or any other kind of placements that we've already covered, you'll find this transit can be extremely powerful for you and even shocking of how good you can capitalize on the energy if you're channeling it into something useful. So I just thought I would cover it. Thanks for being here. Please hit like, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do so through the Buy Me a Coffee link. Good luck. Take care.